Party people in the place to be, live from 58 James Street. We're James with Games. Happy Sunday. I wonder how many of the murders would be committed by bees if instead of living on the Louisiana Bayou, the Colonel had a honey fortune. I'm a honey man. Good morning, Cedric. Happy Sunday. You just reminded me. Many, many, many years ago, I remember my friend Allison, dearly departed, when we were in like junior high, I think. She was writing a novel that was going to be like a Christopher Pike style, like that kind of young adult thriller of that era. And she was doing a thing that I'm sure a lot of very young writers do, of explicitly basing all the characters on her friends and then telling us about it. And she was like, there's a stand-in for you, and he dies in the first chapter. And I was like, oh, so, okay. So I'm like the inciting incident. Like, I'm important, at least. I might not have said inciting incident at the time. I didn't have a master's degree in literature. And she said, no, you just get stung to death by bees. And it's not related. It's unrelated to the plot. What the hell? But I talked her into instead having me spontaneously combust for reasons that aren't related to the plot, which I thought was at least more impactful. Oh. No, I opened the wrong thing. So we're playing the Colonel's Bequest. And unfortunately, I opened Steam. Okay, there. Did not take that long for it to boot up so I could close it. Wait, there was a second one. Laura Bow versus Candyman. Yeah. Yeah, Candyman really does unite the southern theme with the bees. Okay. So we're playing the Colonel's Bequest, a Sierra adventure game where Roberta Williams tried to fuse adventure game principles with interactive fiction in a game where you aren't so much trying to solve puzzles as just figure out what the hell is going on. I've played through it once. I've started my second playthrough. We are going to return to the second playthrough now. And we are going to go over this thing with a fine-tooth comb. And hopefully, we're going to get a little bit closer to solving the mystery. Realizing in this moment do elaborate, Cedric. I feel like I might have heard this trivia before, but on its face, the ghost thing seems unlikely. Whoops, I have not. There we go. Fix the audio level. I would have sworn I did that before I even popped over. But actually, let's also fix the audio levels. Oh, yes, that is a horrifying story. I remember now reading about that, probably specifically in the context of read about this horrible story. I think it was in like a long form journalistic article that I read about it, but very upsetting. Because I believe it turned out. Yeah, exactly. I think the idea was that in the cheap building, it was like easy to get inside the walls, and that some delinquents had been just robbing people in the building. And then it wound up escalating to murder in her case. I'm looking here. I'm going through all the fingerprints trying to find this one. Aha. Dr. Wilbur C. Fields. Dr. Fields. Yeah, I guess when you cut out his full name, so your brain doesn't focus on the W.C. Fields pun. The name really captures how he's a gross old pervert. Okay. Firing it back up. We're not going to play Act 1, but I'm just returning to my notes spreadsheet for a moment. So, here are when you complete a playthrough, for anyone not in the know, of the Colonel's Bequest, you get it closes by letting you browse through Laura's notebook, and she has made different lists of different categories on each page, and then it also tells you which categories are incomplete to let you know what you're going to try to find out about later. So check this out. Here are the incomplete categories. In fact, now that I've said this out loud, let me use my spreadsheet mastery to sort the range here, to sort my data. Advanced range sorting options, sort by column E, Z to A, sorted. Okay. Oh, I did it in a stupid way. Don't worry, we'll play the game. Data has header row, and now that I've clicked it, it won't sort the header into the middle of the list. Okay, here are my incomplete categories that I'm looking to fill out. Found secret entrance / exit in. I found secret entrances and exits in the dining room, hallways, billiard room, library, parlor, Clarence / Rudy's room, Gertie and Gloria's room, Laura's own room, and the Colonel's room. But that's still incomplete. Objects used more than once. I used the crackers and the monocle. That's incomplete. Valuable object taken. I didn't take a valuable object. Religious article discovered. I did not discover a religious article. Items requiring close scrutiny. I scrutinized the boot print in mud, sleeping powder bottle, handkerchief, rolling pin, fireplace poker, broken record, and glass. But that's it. Maybe I should have inspected the gun when I got it at the end of the game. That's one I'll keep an eye out for. People with gambling habits. Rudy and Clarence, but that's not all. People guilty of embezzlement. Clarence, but that's not all. People with a telltale scent. It doesn't say. Although I mentioned this last time, and I will reiterate. Seems like Ethel Prune should have a distinctive scent because she's a rummy. Objects which changed location. Deranged and dagger. Also, it seems very, very likely that Gloria is wearing a lot of like perfume or something. The Deranged and the dagger changed location, but I didn't confirm the new location of anything else. Ultimate location of most bodies. Didn't find it. It's probably the basement that I did not reach. I bet there's a secret entrance to the basement. Synergy. Person with a surprising secret. I got Lillian, so I guess her surprising secret is her doll madness. I never found out. Maybe if I find out what Gloria's health condition is, that's a surprise. People who use secret passages. I don't know. Didn't confirm that anybody did. I found evidence that people had, but I don't know how to turn that into definite knowledge for Laura. And then finally, one who murdered the most people. I didn't figure that out. I suspect still that it's Rudy, especially because the ending where you don't have any knowledge and you don't intervene is Rudy and the Colonel fighting. And if you don't intervene, Rudy wins the fight and then says, there, the Colonel did it all. You go tell the police that, little girl. And that's the end. Oh, cool. There is a real-time component to the game. If we just sit here, Lillian returns from the washroom all on her own. And then boom, in real time. And she talks to us both. Oh, wow. That's cool, Cedric. Are you planning to do anything with that? Like make a repository available? All right. Now, do I want to revisit? I do. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to go with 745 for now. Hopefully, I'm not reasonable. It's a good reason to digitize things. Oh, once again, got to switch the numlock over. I didn't have a very productive. Well, it was not unproductive. I got some stuff done and I had some fun. You like my new outfit, Lil? Not particularly, mother. Oh, wow. Yeah, I bet. So, I guess one thing I ought to do, if I can manage, 7:45 right now. I don't think I've explored outside during Act 1. So I might as well do that. Big part of what we're going to do is just crawl through every hour of the game and try to really max out exploration in each 15-minute increment. So I'll probably break down and increase the walking speed. You're standing in front of the old plantation house, right by the front door. It's real creepy and dark in here, out here. You shiver at the thought of venturing outside alone. Perhaps you ought to go back inside. Now that's the reason that on my first time through, I didn't explore. I thought, oh, I'm not supposed to do it yet. What a wonderful view of the old plantation house. From here, you can almost imagine what it must have been like during its glory days. Statue appears to resemble the Colonel in full officer's regalia. Base of statue? Yeah, you see nothing special. I think that's a clever. I think they're being cute and using some of the generic error messages in ways that paper over, just like, oh, the parser doesn't understand you. You are standing at the west side of the circular gravel driveway leading to the old plantation house. You're at the south edge of the Bayou Island. An old road runs alongside the old plantation's front wrought iron fence. From here, you can see the west edge of the main circular driveway. If nothing else, I can probably just like grab some of the items at least. You're walking along the south edge of the Bayou Island. An old road runs alongside the old plantation's front wrought. Yeah, basically the same words, except then to also say, hey, there's the carriage house. You've come upon a run-down carriage house. Old crates have been piled before one of the doors. For obvious reasons, it's not been used as a carriage house for some time. In general, it hasn't been particularly rewarding. A couple of old crates. Can I search the crates? Probably not. You don't have it. Take crate. Crates are much too heavy. Open crates. They're just old crates. There's nothing of interest in them. How do you know if you don't look? Especially if we assume that Laura, really doesn't know where the bodies are going later on. It's like, what if they're going in the crates? You peer through the gloom of the old carriage house. Parts of a decrepit carriage lie in the right corner, and a small rowboat named Minnow rests in the left corner. Look at the rowboat. There's a small rowboat. Look in rowboat. You look in the small rowboat, but do not see anything of interest. Imagine if the Colonel had a small robot, and it was just the same. Whatever, it's just a robot. I know that's an oil can. And I know I like taking it. You see parts of an old carriage in the right corner. Look in the carriage. You look inside the decrepit carriage and find a crowbar. Thinking it might come in handy, you take it with you. I never found a thing to do with the crowbar. The manual, I believe, not based on my own memory, but Cedric, you telling me, in its list of suggested verbs to use includes pry, but let me make sure that's true. Oh, I can hold shift while clicking to look at things if I don't know how to describe them. Maybe I should play with that a little. Dun, dun, dun. Interacting with Colonel's bequest. Look, get, read, load, talk, pry, climb, push, play. I wonder if I can like play billiards. Tell, use, ask, open, close, pull, shoot. Load and shoot are all but the climax of the game, I think. When you have you can load a single bullet into the gun. Makes sense. I should have assumed it was there. Move, show, stand, give, examine, jump, take. I got to do much more with conversations and with showing items this time around. Much more with, okay, there's an old horse harness. Can I take the harness? You can't get that. Old boxes here and there. It's only dust on the table. You see a life preserver on the wall and an anchor. An old anchor hangs on the wall. The boat named Minnow in the corner. Okay. Okay. We'll take advantage of this. As much as I do lament that the point and click interface fully overtook text parsers in adventure games, I do like the intermediary stage where it's augmenting the experience. You have come upon a ramshackle little playhouse. Hanging from a nearby tree, you see an old rope swing. Seeing these long ago playthings makes you wonder about the children who used to live here. I mean, at least some of whom are the adults who we know now. A charming old swing hangs from a nearby oak. There's an old playhouse that some long ago children played in, and maybe some of your more demented current friends. Oops, open door. All right, it's locked at this stage. I can break the swing if I want, but perhaps I shan't. You see a rusted iron bell at the top of an old bell tower. These are unnecessary commas. Bell tower and iron bell are the noun phrases. A rope, gotta flex the muscles. I'm going back to work tomorrow. A rope dangles a short distance beneath the bell, while a ladder runs up the tower's side. Behind a weathered fence, you also notice the remnants of the old plantation's fields. You scared away a bat. Huh. From all the way over here. I guess that's weird because there is an instant death associated with the bell, but it's not getting bitten by a bat and getting rabies. A short rope hangs slightly below the old bell tower. There is a rusted iron ring attached to the bottom of it. You can use the oil can to oil the bell, and later on, when you have a dead person's cane, you can use it to hook the iron ring and pull it. But doing that just gets you a comical death. At the end of the island, there's a small, quaint chapel. Behind it, you see an old family cemetery. Well, let's investigate. Is anybody praying this early? This is the old plantation chapel. Above the pulpit, you see a beautiful stained glass window. Gorgeous stained glass window. You see 4 pews in this small church. You see nothing special about the pulpit. You notice candles on the wall. Well, can we steal candles from the church? The candles are firmly affixed to the wall. No, we cannot. Wait. Keep enjoying my shift click privileges. Each alcove shelters a small statue of a religious figure. Steal it. Steal it, Laura. The statues belong here. I like that this humble little chapel produces deeply ominous organ music. Maybe that's one of the secret areas. Pry up the floorboards of the chapel and find the entire organ area. This is an old family graveyard behind the little chapel. Set among the various family graves and monuments, you notice two large tombs. The Crouton family and the Dijon family. The graves and monuments belong to various members of the Crouton family, ranging from the large monument of the patriarch, Francois Crouton, and his wife Claudette, to the simple grave of Sarah Crouton, who was 17 when she died in 1871. Look at Sarah's grave. Can we do that? No. Can't get any more specific. You can open the Dijon crypt and go, oh, Colonel Dijon isn't dead yet. You can't go in the Crouton crypt. Although I never tried to pry it open with a crowbar, which feels like both, probably not the answer, even as I commit to trying it right now. Open the door. Tomb is sealed. Pry the door. No matter what you do. Wait, did it say that the other time too? No. Okay. Is it Chekhov's crypt? Or is it a red herring? Who knows? Windows surround small church. You can't see it's a shame you can't get a shot at the stained glass window from the outside. Not a shot. A glimpse. You are standing at the northwest corner of the house, right outside the Colonel's study. You may enter the house through several French doors. Out the back door, a garden path encircles a small statue, then continues on through a lovely rose arbor. This is an exquisite statue of a dancing satyr. There are 2 garden benches here. Can I examine the bench? Only to the degree that it will confirm to me. Search the statue. That is not clear. Examine it. It's a satyr, isn't it? Yep. Nothing ever happened on this screen for me. Maybe I followed either Rudy or Ethel through it at some point. This is a wonderful little garden. You wonder who planted it. Certainly not the Colonel. Bless his heart. Roses surround the little heart-shaped garden. Upon 2 marble pedestals sit matching urns. I don't believe there's something in the urns, but did I actually check? The urn is empty. Well, hold on though, there's 2. Unfortunately, we're now signing up to do this every 15 minutes. Was there a murder? Did I find a body here? I mean, maybe after one of the murders, something will be ditched there. Not turning up the walking speed yet, but the time will probably come. You are standing at the northeast corner of the house, right outside the kitchen. Beside the kitchen door, you see a doghouse and a cellar door. Can I already look in the doghouse? Yes, but it's empty. So Beauregard, we can actually, okay. The theft, Beauregard's theft of Ceely's necklace does not happen until at least 8 o'clock. Open the door. Just do it yourself. Open the cellar. You're not close enough. Very frustrating. Ah, it's locked. Pry open the cellar. No. One day I will pry something with that crowbar. You are standing at the east side of the circular gravel driveway leading to the old plantation house. And once again, we have a thing where it's just like, it's got to be something at some point. Just got to look at it every 15 minutes. Because here's the real tell. Why is there that screen? I mean, it could be a red herring. It could be a trick. But it seems weird. You're walking along the etc. etc. The front edge. There's a gate. It's wrought iron. Wrought iron. You're at the southeast edge of the Bayou Island. The old road and the fence have been taken over by the flooding swamp water. This quaint gazebo looks like it was once a nice spot for quiet reflecting. Looking north, you see some tall hedges. Though now in disrepair, the old gazebo still looks peaceful and inviting. Look around. Now, look at the floor of the gazebo. You see nothing special. Look up. See the roof of the gazebo. Is there anything about that roof? No, except that it's there. Will there ever be a clue hidden on a ceiling? This is an odd-looking place. It seems to be a private little garden, completely surrounded by a large hedge. You wonder why. And indeed, I do continue to wonder. This hedge garden is very strange. In the center, you see a small fountain, while a nearby statue overlooks it. Perhaps at one time, this was someone's place of quiet contemplation. Eventually, I mean, I might even be able to do it here in Act 1. Now, gotta actually use your parser. Fountain sits forlornly at the center of the garden. I'll be able to get a shaft to turn the fountain back on. But to what end? I don't know. Wait, there's urns. Is that what they called them? Again? Urns. What? Okay, good, great. The urn is empty. So now we have 4 urns that we have to check in on constantly and probably never find anything in, but maybe, and who knows. What can you do? Statue of a dancing nymph overlooks the fountain. What's this? You notice a small square shaft protruding from the base of the statue. So I can get the thing that attaches to that, then we can turn it. It turns the fountain on. You see nothing. Couldn't figure out a way to drain the fountain. Because perhaps just because I've been playing Blueprints, my immediate instinct is to think maybe the fountain is a secret entrance to the basement. There's a poor but clean shack here at the edge of the old sugarcane fields. Nearby, see a small chicken coop. Seely's not home right now, I don't believe. You cautiously knock at the door of the old shack, but receive no answer. Then we have Chekhov's broken arched bridge. Mr. Bayou waters surround this old plantation, cutting it off from the rest of the world. Better watch your step around here. And while I suspect that most of the bodies do wind up in the basement, because there are so many disposal chutes hidden in the house, which I suppose I need to make sure in the course of this playthrough to look in all of them, perhaps. Or no, because they're all in the same rooms as sliding panels, right? So maybe I don't need to be that pedantic. You feel better now that you're back in the house. It was scary out there. But was it really all that scary? I believe I've talked to Clarence today, but he doesn't want to answer. I don't have anything else to say about that. Well, he probably has nothing to say about anybody. Is it Gertrude's land? I don't know anything about it. Or was it Ethel's? I think I've written it down, so I should just look. Yes. He's parlayed with Gertrude about scamming. What's her face? Ethel. Look at the statue. You see nothing special. Look at the statue's helmet. Examine statue. The joints of the armor are hopelessly rusted. I have the oil can, right? Yeah. Oil the statue. Oil the visor. I just can't remember what to say to get to this, to get started. But okay. Open visor. You carefully open the armor's visor and peek inside. You see a small metal valve handle hanging by a hook inside the armor's helmet. You grab the valve handle. You also see an old yellow note pasted to the inside of the helmet. Curious about the old note, you read it. It says, "Our dearest daughter Sarah, we knew you would know to look in the armor. This war is terrible. We fear our end is near. In case you're not the only one to find this note, we won't give too much away. Use this valve handle with your favorite water nymph. And don't ever forget, we love you very much." So then you get the valve. Whew. Might have come perilously close right there to getting Laura's head crushed by the chandelier. When you get right down to business, instead of waiting for something to be amiss before Laura starts really digging in, you do produce a pretty funny, like, what a horrible guest. Left to her own devices for like less than an hour, and she's prowling the grounds, stealing things, messing around with antique suits of armor, uncovering old Crouton family secrets. The metal valve handle is now attached to the valve stem at the base of the statue. Turn the valve. Upon turning the valve handle, you hear a click, and the fountain comes to life. Can I take the valve back? You don't need it anymore. The fountain sits forlornly in the center of the garden. Is it really all that forlorn now, though? If I turn the valve again, fountain flow subsides. That's it. Is there something I can... No. No. Examine the fountain. Nope. So yeah, what does it do for me to have the fountain working, if anything? I do not know. Now, at one point, I went in the graveyard and saw a ghost, and I should have loaded back, but I was trying to, play the first one. First playthrough without too much reloading. But there was that one point where what did I do? What am I trying to say? Lost it. There's the one point where no, it's gone. Ooh, use the secret. Wait, can you use it the other way? You're not close enough. Open secret panel. Oh, that's potentially handy. Good to know. So, like, one obvious thing besides finding my way to the bodies that I need to do is I need to find a way into the attic that doesn't depend on getting to the very end of the story and being given the key to the attic. And it probably involves the Colonel's elevator, but I'm not sure. Because one of the things in Laura's notebook at the end is time of first visit to attic. And I did mine very late in the game. Okay, the horrible old pervert doctor has perved on Laura. Because I think I'm ready to advance the plot, which I think I do by going to Gertrude's room. Gertrude is one of, if not the first, murder victim. I might have found Dr. Fields first, but one thing we've definitely confirmed is that it's not necessarily purely linear how that all goes down. Time advances to Act 2. Now, my Act 2 spreadsheet, I'm going to make some new headings for 8, 8:15, 8:30, and 8:45. All right, the old lady's snoring hard. Look at Gertrude. How's she looking? Healthy and alive? Gertrude Dijon is the Colonel's widowed sister-in-law. She obviously is behind the times. She looks like she has just stepped out of the gay 90s. Bit of a snob, etc., etc. Did she unlock her suitcases? They're locked. Now, Gertrude, at least the first time, but I imagine every time, is killed by being flung from the window. And there are several people who could have issues with her. I can't remember who exactly. As it's dark outside, it's difficult to see through the windows. You cannot open the windows. There's no need to open the window. I like the snoring sound effects they came up with. Oh, you know what? Just for the moment, go back in time. Can we spy on the sleeping old lady? And does that make anything different? Look through the eyes. You don't see anything, but you hear what sounds like someone snoring. And you do see the Z's. Okay. Look at the wall. Yeah. Okay, yes. I know all about that. That's nothing new to me. Can I spy on the Colonel again? Might as well try while I'm here. The Colonel is sitting in his room. Just looking like a sour old man. And a specific character actor that I can't put my finger on. And I believe I've already spied on Lillian and her mother. Hello, David. Right. This is one of the motivations. Ethel. Happy Sunday. So, knowing that we probably have more than one murderer, almost certainly, is it the case that Ethel is drinking to steel herself to throw an even older lady than herself out a window? And there's Rudy having a drink in his room. Perhaps also steeling himself for a night of murdering. Or perhaps he's just an alcoholic. Okay, satisfied. Let's go back to the future. And let's see what we can get. I guess one obvious thought. Oh, wait. We get the handkerchief. But we need the monocle to examine it close enough to confirm that it's embroidered, that it's Ethel's. So Ethel moved. Let me note that for the start of the act. Ethel dropped handkerchief outside Gertie's room? Perhaps. At this point, if I look in on the sleeping old lady, there might be some physical space and time issues here if the murder goes ahead. And we're like, whoops. Yeah, because when did it happen? If I was in the room, who knows? However, did something happen in here? I did not go back into this room. A small table is lying on its side near a wide open window. Is that cigar smoke you smell? Other 8 o'clock notes. Cigar smoke smell in Gertrude's room. Look at the table. It appears a small table has been knocked over, with the potted plant it supported lying crumpled on the floor. Good morning, British. Yeah, it's still 10 minutes of morning here. Obviously, not morning where you are. Examine the plant. It appears that small table's been knocked over. Okay. Look at the pot. Nothing special. By any chance, did the killer on his way through unlock the suitcases? Probably not. No. Since actually, now that I think about it, for the rest of the game, I'll be unable to open that suitcase. Is it easier to look out? Curiously, you peek through the open window into the darkness outside. Looking downward, you think you see something, but can't make out any details. Uh-oh. Well, we'll have to go investigate, but again, in the interest of being thorough, what else is going on up here? Someone's walking outside on the second story veranda. Who could it be? Okay, I remember that scene now, but can I get to the second story veranda? At any rate, someone was moving on the veranda. Can I go out the open window, perhaps? Look through the eyes. Colonel's still in his room. In room alone. Nothing of interest. So wait, is the door closed after my first look at it? Is the secret panel? Yeah, there's a secret panel on each wall. Whoops. Oh, I see. This one's on the other side. That one gave me a little start. That's what you get for. It's definitely that is basically the exact death that you can get randomly in the closet, but the random closet one just feels like a cheap random death, whereas that feels more sinister because it feels more directly. Can I climb out the window onto the second story veranda? No. Examine the table. Oh, right, of course. Open the drawers. Nothing of interest in the dresser. Someone's walking outside on the second story veranda. Who could it be? Even though we know from the ending on the first playthrough that the Colonel is able to walk. It seems unlikely. Right, we've seen this. Leave me alone, you cad. And he goes to sit down and get back to his drink. Wait a minute. Oh. Can we get a different version of that scene? Can we get more information by spying before we go in? Press plus subtly just now to increase Laura's walking speed a bit. But not too much. Not yet, at least. What if we looked at the floor instead of the fleur? No. We look through the eyes. Nope. Presumably Fifi is in there, but she's just not entering the frame. Both Ethel and Lillian have left Laura's room. Is anyone in the bathroom? Oh, I just hit it off center. Go in the shower, get psycho murdered. I don't believe the waste paper basket, whoops, comes into play yet. Currently, it is empty. Maybe that's the tell. Maybe with all the urns, because they're not currently empty, but just empty, I'm supposed to just, forget about it. All right, she slaps him. She runs away. So is Rudy just getting fresh, or does he have some sinister agenda? Specifically with Fifi. Is he trying to get her to participate in a scheme? Is he trying to get information out of her? Talk to Rudy. You know, Laura, you're a very attractive girl. Shut up, you awful creep. What just happened with Fifi? I know what she's after. I've got her completely pegged. Tell about Clarence. Yeah. Trying to tell about his scheme, but I don't think I can specify that. Ask about Wilbur, the doctor. You don't want to go near that old lech. How are you doing, Rudy? I'm not discussing myself with you. How do you feel about Gertrude? I'm sure she's just resting in her room. Now, on the one hand, that's the kind of suspicious thing you might say. Wait, you recognize this handkerchief? She looks like a hanky to me. I think the oil can and the crowbar are practical items as opposed to mystery items. Right. Okay. I'd actually blanked on Rudy being Gloria's mom. That's good to be reminded of. Look in the suitcase. It's locked. I assume looking at all the windows gets the same message, but where's the entrance to the veranda? If indeed there is one. Like it would explain why all the windows come all the way to the floor, if there was just a veranda to go onto. The figure walking outside had a hat. And of course, anybody can put a hat on, and it's the 20s, so probably most of them have hats. But Ethel being drunk and kicking off the night's festivities without being the main killer. Do I just get the regular? No, not quite. The Fifi. Talk to Fifi. Oh, mademoiselle. Excusez-moi, but you should not be in here. Are you okay, though, honey? Mon Dieu, he is nothing but trouble. How about Gertrude? Do you have any feelings about her? I have said too much already, but I think she has her sights set for all of Henry's money. I don't think it was Fifi. I think Fifi and Rudy seem to have been occupied with each other. Tell her about Rudy. Such a man scares the dickens out of me. I saw you with the Colonel. Oh la la, mademoiselle. Henry is really very nice. Ah, oui, oui. Wait, you're the maid? You noticed this on anybody before? It does not look familiar to me. Ask Madame Prune about it. No, I was just criticizing you for having not cleaned it up off the floor. And I assume the Colonel is in his room glowering. But I might as well walk through. Ooh, he's glowering over there. Colonel generally does not like talking to Laura. Doctor is not in his room, perhaps because he's getting murdered. This doctor feels bad. Look in it. Probably she won't. Yeah. Definitely you don't get nothing out of the conversation system. And some of it is more like genuinely the characterization is just that nobody likes Laura. They don't want some. Why did Lillian have to bring this low class girl home? This deplorably middle class girl. But there's also some. This is kind of the weak point of the game. There's just not enough possible dialogue to have. So I assume finding the body is going to be my first big time advancer, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, yeah, now, Polly. You really understand me, don't you? Argh! Polly, argh! Yeah, you know, especially in this playthrough, seems very reasonable. Oh, you know what? I should try to spy. Do, do. Move the mirror. Through the eyes. You know how sure I feel about me, don't you, Polly? Argh! Well, I don't care what she think, especially Gertie and she conniving daughter of hers. I'll have another drink, eh, Polly? Have a drink, huh? Cheers to you. She does have a hat on. Then again, she's down here drinking. Then again, it seems like I think the dining room is empty right now. And nothing really bad happens. You just get booted back. Yep. Advancing time. Back we go. So there's the time trigger. Entering the kitchen, where Jeeves is just leaving and Celie is talking to Lillian. Why don't I update the save down here so we don't have to keep walking down the stairs? Wait, play could be for play music. Although your father is an excellent billiards player, you never learned the game. Your mom, welcome! Laura actually seems to be a Sierra protagonist who's not easily thwarted by stairs. You have build some yards. Look through these eyes. Yeah, exactly. She can be killed by ringing a bell. She can easily go through the balcony banister. Oh, wow. Yes, they must be. You really have to navigate a lot of perilous little spots. These eyes, it's just Gloria in here just chilling. It's just Gloria listening to the Victrola. Oh, hold on. Danielle's a calling. I'll be right back, gang. Hang tight. We're back at it. Okay. Oh, whoops. Not got stairs on the brain. Yeah, that would be painful. I remember see some books on the table. Some of these tables could use a good dusting. What the hell, Jeeves? Most of these chairs look pretty old. Is that true even over here? Yeah, because they all just correspond to the noun chairs. See a dusty old mirror hanging on the wall. Nothing interests me there. Cheery fire brightens the room. Currently, you don't see an elevator. It's just an elevator shaft. I assume this is unwise, and yet I'm going to test it. You're not close enough. I remember watching someone who was speedrunning Golden Sun, and it wouldn't be specific to Golden Sun, but it seems in general like it'd be really stressful to be lithographed from your grandmother from a book called The Colonel's Capitulation. Have you read it? Look around. You're in an elevator shaft. Examine shaft. The elevator seems to be upstairs. I'm in suspense here. Rhinoceros, 2 spears, stuffed eagle. Ah, the Colonel's. Yeah, I was like, see, that's the thing. A 1905 Colonel definitely seemed like a strong possibility to be some lost cause stuff. But that's the most insulting kind. Wish casting that not to say that the northern United States were perfect, but they are, of course, the good guys in the Civil War. And what if they just realized that actually we were right all along? Nothing different in the garden? I guess I should try to go as many different spots as possible before. Oh, here's a time advancer. The Colonel and the Doctor. I can't go on with this any longer. I must tell him about. Quiet! Let's go into the house to continue this discussion. You gotta have the romance subplot, I guess. Come and get it. And there's Beauregard. And this doesn't advance time, I note, so we can get something done here, assuming Beauregard has committed his theft. You peer into the dark interior of the doghouse and look around. What's this? Why, it looks like a necklace of small amethyst and quartz stones. Beauregard must have found it someplace and brought it here. You quickly grab it. take it with you. Well, you're pretty close. Can we get a description of how happy Beauregard is? Yes, Beauregard is sure enjoying that bone. Chickens being chickens. Oh. Nothing going on. Maybe starting the fountain early floods it eventually. That's not how a fountain works, though. Oh, wow. It's interesting for it to be that popular of a name. Not pop. Not there's any group. Just, interesting that would be a recurring name. It's a very specific name. Well, here's the weird thing. I do agree, except that I've actually known quite a few Bronwyns in my life. But I recognize that as strange. And Phaedra, yeah. Like, I guess common, probably not even common among people who are naming their RPG parties after mythological figures. Nah, that's funny. I feel like there's nothing to do in the stable yet, but maybe I should go. I didn't look in the stable in the first act. How about that? Yeah, I've never. Danielle watches a bunch of Real Housewives stuff. I think this should still be locked. Yeah. Wait, so the stable's in the other direction. I don't know why I'm going to it since, like I said, I think it's probably just nothing right now. But I guess you should be thorough. That's the whole idea of the second playthrough. On the west corner of the island, you see an old dilapidated stable surrounded by an empty corral. Stable seems to have plenty of windows. Soggy bales of hay lie outside the stable door. There's only one stall in this old stable. As there's an old broken down nag in the stall, you deduce this must be Blaze. There's an old saddle. That must be Blaze's old bridle. Neither of which you can take. Can't get a description of Blaze, but a gate leads into the stall. Well, we're not going to open the gate, obviously, because Blaze will instantly kill us, but let's give him a pet. As you stroke Blaze's velvety soft nose, his eyes open wide and his ears twitch uncontrollably. I think that's supposed to be your warning that he's kind of wound up. Because if you open the gate, he just jumps up and kills Laura. Okay. I realized that even though I don't think Jeeves is going to be leaving his cellar door unlocked at any point, I should have checked after he fed Beauregard. So I'll check that, and then we'll hit a time advancing point and get on with the show. Well, horse is suspect number one for anyone. Oops. For anyone who we find with their head kicked clean in, just their face just smashed. Oh, good. This actually saves us some time. I knew it was going to say I wasn't close enough. Okay. He keeps it locked. Can I make my way around the house such that the time advancing thing, can I find the body? For a second, Cedric, I was trying to connect your comment back to Laura deducing that it must be Blaze. Like, why would she deduce that it's either Blaze or... But the face smashed in part makes a lot more sense. Just an old doormat. And I'm sure I tried this. There's nothing under the doormat. Take it. You don't want to carry that old thing around. She doesn't mind carrying an old leaky oil can. This is the southwest corner of the mansion, right outside the billiard room. Oh dear! It looks as if Gertie has accidentally fallen from an upstairs window and killed herself. Or was it an accident? Oh, Gertie, I was pulling for you. I thought maybe you could make it through the second one. Gertie's dead, all right. Search her. You quickly examine Gertie's body and see that she died of a broken neck. You can see no clues as to what might have happened. Look at the ground. Is there anything else? See nothing special. Well, let's cruelly upset Gloria. Mother! Oh no! It can't be. Unfortunately, our killer is on it. You're very mean. There's nothing there. She does not wish to look. Is Ethel still in here? Yeah. You're no Polly. You're on a stamina, don't you, huh? Argh, Polly! Argh! Ethel doesn't even look at it. God damn you, Ethel. She's more interested in the parrot. She doesn't seem to notice you. At this point, it didn't advance time when I found the body, right? So I think it's time so to speak, to trigger something to happen. I'll do this one. Oh, someone's stumbling around outside. But I didn't run into them when I was out there. Okay, it's 8:15. Now, child. It ain't no use getting yourself upset. Things have a way of working themselves out. I know, silly, but it just doesn't seem right. Oh, hi, Laura. You know, you invited me. Gotta take some notes, though. Baking in kitchen. Drinking with Parrot. How's your mama doing these days, child? Oh, you know, Mother Seeley. Assaulted by Rudy, returns to room. Murdered most foully. Clarence. Outside study with Wilbur. Obviously, that's where Wilbur is as well. Oh. Feeds Beauregard. Got to fill out what everyone was doing. How's your son doing, Celia? Oh, I'm so proud of him, Miss Lillian. He's graduating from college, you know. Side study with Clarence. Talking to Seeley in kitchen. And we're up to date. I don't think I really added anything new to my understanding. I'll show him that, child, not now. Can we talk to either of them? I'm busy. Go on, would you now? We'll see how she feels once I give her back her necklace. But I'm not doing it yet because she's mean. What you want, Laura? How's your mother doing? Oh, you do have an opinion, but she's just being guarded with me. Oh, I don't know. She's around here someplace, probably drunk as usual. That can't be true, Laura. I'll go see. Oh, another person who we can send off to tell Laura she's crazy. Short time later. Oh, you're just imagining things, Laura. Is this your mother's, Lillian? It looks familiar. It's making my default target Celie, even though she doesn't like me yet, so she won't talk to me. Rudy gambles a lot, and I think he owes a lot of money to some shady people. Tell Lillian about Rudy and Fifi. Rudy'll never change. Why, he thinks he's a regular old Don Juan. Which is not obviously how the name Juan should be pronounced, but if you want the scansion and rhyme to work in Byron's Don Juan, you do need to use the archaic English mispronunciation. I'm Laura. He's such an old fool. She's just leading him on. Oh, whoops. He's up to something. I only wish I knew what it was. Beauregard doesn't seem to have much energy. All he does is lie around. Why, he's most of 15 years old, Miss Lillian. What you expect? And that's true, Lillian. What do you expect? So, coming out here because I want to check the Jeeves situation. Can I get in his room? Secure the crackers. Hello, Sitar Hero 82. I'm really loving this game too. I'm on my second run through. Perfect. We're in. This must be the butler's room. Actually, it's not too bad considering it's down in a cellar. That's Jeeves's toilet. If you need to use one, go upstairs. There's a mirrored medicine cabinet on the wall next to the sink. Yeah. As in, let's give him a break for being so. I believe that Seeley is on point there. There is nothing you need in Jeeves's medicine cabinet. Good heavens, Laura. Did your parents not teach you any manners? Well, they obviously didn't, because I'm going to try to look in his closet, too. You really are a snoop, Laura. There's nothing here for you. May I have your crackers, Mr. Jeeves? If you want it, just get it. You're not close enough. Well, you ask Jeeves if you can have the crackers. He nods his head in approval. Usually he's much grumpier than this. I don't think he wants to talk to me, though. It's tough to say. Like, that sprite is absolutely sleeping. So maybe the idea is just, she wakes him up to be like, excuse me? He opens his eyes in his bedroom. And the weird guest is there. May I have your crackers, Mr. Jeeves? I deserve a little peace and quiet in my own room. And that's true and fair, sir. Would you look at this handkerchief, though? He doesn't care. He's just not into it. Okay. You know how they all are. It'll be fine, Miss Lillian. You'll see. Well, no, it certainly won't. It's going to be quite the opposite of fine. All right. I'm going to go upstairs during 8:15 and see what's changed, if anything. I wish that Wilbur and Clarence would continue their discussion in the library rather than the study. Rudy's still just in here. I don't think there's anything new to be accomplished. Our room should be empty. So should Gertrude's. I assume there's not much going on in the bathroom. I don't think there's going to. There is one point where you find the bottle of poison. Assume the Colonel's in his room by himself, smoking, hasn't left. Is no one in the other room? Presumably Fifi's upstairs. So wait, hold on. Why am I not writing this stuff down? Seeley is still baking in the kitchen at 8:15. Lillian's still in there talking to her. I assume I will still find Clarence and Wilbur having their conversation outside to advance time. Gloria's still listening to her music. Ethel is still drinking with the parrot. Fifi's probably in her room, but we'll find her in a minute. Gertrude, of course, is dead from here on out. Rudy is smoking in his room. There's Fifi, just still in her room. Be weird if the door was just opened. Just you have to check at 8:15. That's the big secret. Okay. Fifi, still in room. So is the Colonel. Well, I'm going to do a brief grounds tour on the off chance if Gertrude was indeed murdered by somebody for reasons not related to the general serial killer who I suspect throws their bodies. I guess you're not a serial killer. It's a spree. Yeah, I'm being way more cautious about them because they mostly seem to just be triggered by when you witness certain events. Although I'm not sure, like, it certainly could be the case that there are multiple event triggers. That I haven't discovered. Oh, now I remember. Long ago, I started forming a thought and then I couldn't figure the rest of it out. I couldn't remember what I was trying to say, which was that I did briefly meet the ghost, I assume, of Sarah Crouton, who's also the one who loved this garden. I didn't interact with the ghost on my first playthrough. Perhaps, perchance, uh, that's a thing I'll be able to do this time around. Oh, should I be looking at all the urns? Oh, Colonel's capitulation is pretty short. Okay. Was it as you had feared or suspected? Oh, well, that's okay. That's a big improvement on what you thought it might be. Search the bucket. Examine the bucket. It's a leaky oaken bucket. Empty the bucket. You can't. Game does not understand empty. So is the Colonel a committed bachelor and just his capitulation is falling in love and getting married? Huh. Interesting. Unless it's some sort of, well, is it portrayed as a good thing that the Colonel wants to? This is the problem with gremlins? Like, does the Colonel eat after midnight? Okay. I can still imagine ways in which that might be secretly wait. Yes. That is the problem with gremlins. You also can't get them wet. No. Gertrude's body has not been hastily crammed into the boat. Nor he never drinks before noon. Interesting. No, David Alexander. It's an unrelated book that happens to have a name and a southern setting. That's the thing. I mean, obviously, there's a real degree to which Gremlins is a children's movie and you're not supposed to think about it that much. But like after midnight, what do you mean? Like at what point does it reset? When does the clock turn over? Exactly. Like it's midnight somewhere, everywhere at all times, but it's also before midnight at all times. Except literally the exact stroke of midnight. You'd think it'd be more tied to like the moon or something. If you were trying to make sense of it at least. Well, let's go witness this conversation, assuming it's still. Yep. I can't go on with this any longer. I must tell him about. Quiet! Let's go inside the house to continue our discussion. That's interesting. I'm curious about that. It looks to me like the origin of the term is a fictional character in the 1894 novel Trilby by George du Maurier. Yep. Neat. It is, of course, a problematic. Yeah, caught on fast. Okay. It's 8:30 now. So let's start by seeing if we can spy on Clarence and Wilbur. Because I noticed they didn't say, let's go into the study. They said, or Clarence said, into the house. So maybe they went all the way to the library. No. Alas, not. I assume they're also not big on Laura just busting in. Now, of course, in real life, you could just stand outside the room. No, they don't actually go in there. Well, they could go, maybe they go up to Clarence's room. I mean, this is exactly what we're trying to find out. Who is doing what at what times? So are Lillian and... Oh, here they are. I'm warning you, Wilbur. If you say anything to... Young woman, will you please leave us alone? Yes, in the sense that I will spy on you in a way that is less obtrusive. That's the best I can do for you, though, I'm afraid. Looking through the eyes. It's just not right. We gotta tell him about it. No, it'll work out, Wilbur. I've got some plans. How are you gonna replace the $100,000 we took from Henry? Where would you get that kind of money? I know people. I can do it. Trust me. Why were we so stupid as to buy into a racehorse anyway? And to use Henry's money? We should have known better. It would have worked out, Wilbur. It wasn't our fault that fucking horse broke his leg. All I can say, Clarence, is you'd better do something fast, because if you don't, I'm fessing up. I'll handle it, Wilbur. Just don't be stupid and say something. I don't think I saw this the first time through. Or maybe I did. I've got to go. Remember, don't say nothing. I can easily confirm if I saw it the first time through. Guilty of embezzlement? I only had Clarence. Which could mean that I saw that. It doesn't consider it. Shit, did time advance? Okay. Clarence and Wilbur embezzled 100 grand from the Colonel to buy a racehorse. The horse broke its leg. Wilbur wants to confess. Notably, also, Wilbur is going to die pretty soon. So perhaps that's one of our not the main killer things. Discussion with Wilbur in dining room. Wait. $8:30. Discussion with Wilbur in dining room. Leaves room. Wilbur stays. Discussion with Clarence in dining room. Stays. Doesn't stay. Also leaves. So where do they go? Guess we'll find out together. Okay. I don't think time advanced when I spied on that conversation. I hope not. Hi, Laura. Having fun? Well, except for finding the horribly murdered old lady, yes. Okay. So she's at 8:30. Celie and Lillian still in the kitchen. Now, Celie's got to be innocent. I simply find it impossible to believe that she's involved in any murders. All right. Ethel is still. So the person walking around the grounds at this point, the most recent one I saw, okay. Everything all right, Gloria? I suppose, darling. Let's just get on with it. But I don't want to advance time yet. And also, I'll try spying on them first. But let's see. Okay. Advancing time if I find Dr. Wilbur. So Clarence leaves room to play billiards with Gloria. And Wilbur leaves room to sit in library. Duly noted. All right, let's see what's going on upstairs to the extent that we can without advancing time. Then let's spy on those people. Wait a moment. No, you can't actually open the notebook and get like a running progress thing. Fifi, still in room. Although Fifi is clearly scheming, she wants to get the Colonel's money just by being added to the will. I don't see a motive for her to be committing murders. And at least so far, I haven't noticed any means or opportunity. Rudy is still drinking in his room. What's basically happening here is that some characters are active in the story at this point and actually move around, especially after Laura interacts with them. And then some characters are not active in the story. I don't think that the Colonel, I think that it's a pretty convenient story from Rudy. Yeah, there's that pervasive motive that everybody does have. But so yeah, I guess Fifi does have that motive because he did include Jeeves and Fifi and Seeley in the will. Technically, that means Seeley even has a motive. But again, I just don't think. Billiards with Clarence after he leaves dining room. And finally, Jeeves. Well, I mean, all we can do, find out about Jeeves, is go look. I know I'm definitely being more exhaustive than I was the first time through. Am I being exhaustive enough? I think so. Just based on what seem to be the movement patterns of characters right now, I don't think it quite adds up for there to be more things, like for me to expect something to have changed out on the grounds. But I don't know. Who could have been walking around when I saw someone through the thing? Clarence or Wilbur were outside at one point. Could have been Jeeves. Jeeves is still in his bedroom and still having his nap. It's his 8 o'clock break. Leave him alone, Laura. Leave the poor man alone. Maybe your friend's hungry. Just keep coming in here. I mean, also, Lillian is the only person I know. So you could make me feel more welcome in this conversation, Seeley. But Seeley, you know, listen. It's 1922. There's basically not a single black person in America who has any obligation to be anything other than maximally suspicious of any white person they meet, at least until such time as they find their necklace for them. Look through the eyes. Time advances, but we get more details this way. You seem distant, babe. What's the matter? Well, darling, this is very difficult. What's difficult? You and I want to end it. Are you joking or something? That's ridiculous. No, darling, I'm not joking. I have a new beau. He's a director. I don't know why you would do this during your family getaway. Yeah, well, I have to think about this. See you around, sweetheart. All right. So, at 8:45, Gloria dumps Clarence. I'm gonna put some text wrapping into this spreadsheet. It's getting pretty wide. She dumps Clarence. Clarence gets dumped. Leaves billiard room. Now, Clarence has, beyond the general motive hanging over everybody, has a lot of different motives go. He's an embezzler. He has been dumped. He is presumably angry about that. Yeah. Will Gloria talk to me some now? Everything all right, Gloria? I suppose, darling. Let's just get on with this game. This seems like a sequencing issue. Or did I accidentally load? What's going on here? They break up again. Okay. It's just weird game behavior. No. I mean, yes, but even weirder. Not permanent game behavior. Okay, fine, Gloria. I get it. Not gonna miss you when you get murdered. So Gloria dumps Clarence and then gets back to listening to her records. But seriously, couldn't you have just, gone to lunch in New Orleans? Dump the man there where he's not stuck hanging out with your family on an isolated island? Bubbling over with murderous rage? Ethel spends an entire hour just drunkenly rambling. What should you get indeed? I already know what I'm getting. Leftover pizza. Some kind of paneer frozen, not frozen, fusion. That's the phrase I was looking for. Fusion pizza. I assume Fifi is just going to be in her room. Yep. And Rudy. Yep. I'll update these in the spreadsheet in a minute. Oh, it's delicious. I love it so much. And the dudes at the pizza place are so nice, and they're so proud of their fusion pizza. Like, so the first several times I ordered there, whenever, if it was ever a different one of the dudes handing it to me, he would always be like, "Is this your first time trying the pizza?" And then when it was, I would say that, and they would be like, "Oh, like, do you like Indian flavors? Like, we're really proud of this." And then after, when they were asking me like repeatedly, like now, like You know, is this your first time? And it'd be like, oh no. Like you could see them get a little disappointed because it like filled them with like Christmas level excitement to be like, he's about to try it for the first time. The Colonel is on the move. The elevator seems to be upstairs. At 8:45, the Colonel takes his elevator upstairs. But what does that mean for the investigation? I think that's the responsible choice, which can be a difficult one to make, especially when the specific form of responsibility you're trying to exhibit is not eating pizza. Kind of listen at the door. You listen intently. No. Press ear to door. No. Maybe somewhere there's a cup I can pick up. At any rate, Fifi is still in her room. Gertrude, of course, remains dead. Jeeves was sleeping at 8:30. Assume they're still talking in the kitchen, but we'll find out soon. Rudy's still smoking. All right. Wait, just to confirm, I went up here and Clarence was not in here. Wait. Can't go wrong. Oh, bummer. You've already told me. No, I was trying to tell you the new thing. No, quack. Tell about the embezzlement? No. So what? Delicious. Okay. $8 for the asparagus. Okay, that's a little suspect. Like if you're getting a whole stalk of asparagus, like a whole bundle. Yeah. That's no good. I guess should I be peeking in the closet every now and then, even though it's probably just me being killed? Just an empty closet. So, notably, we have not found where Clarence went. Whoop. Perilously close to getting crushed. I assume Celia and Lillian are still in here. But I guess I gotta go look on the grounds to see if Clarence turns up somewhere. Perhaps that's Clarence? You always understand me, you know, Celia. Okay. The only people I haven't checked on are Jeeves, Clarence post breakup, and Dr. Wilbur, who will presumably take us on to the next act. The act where he, I believe, will get murdered. Okay. It's methodical, the second playthrough. Hopefully I'll pick up the pace as I go. My goodness. It's finicky. He's still sleeping. So hold on. Jeeves. The thing is, Jeeves was awake when Gertrude's body was on the ground. He was awake and on the move because he fed Beauregard. So it could be that he found the body and cleaned it up. But why would he do that? Teach me that chant again, Celia. Later, child. Now, find a religious icon. There's obviously Christianity going on here. There's a chapel. But there's also... One moment. There's also the suspicion that Seeley is involved in some like voodoo. That's perhaps what the chant is. Maybe I can ask Seeley directly about the chant after I've made friends with her, which I can't do until she returns to her home. Look around on the grounds a bit to see if Clarence turns up anywhere. And then in through the study to the library, advance time to the next act. I believe this is where I found the good doctor's body. But that's one thing that comparing notes, Cedric and I have determined, is not set in stone. Really, really got to try to talk to that ghost if I see it again. Perhaps I'll need to know a voodoo chant. I don't know that I think at least once I saw a character, possibly Ethel, as she stumbled around drunk in one of these places. I don't know. Well, that was the stable. What about the carriage house? We're, of course, going to get people killed in a variety of ways as the story goes on. Well, unless he's in the gazebo. I assume I can't just spy on Dr. Wilbur and in so doing actually see the murder. And yet, having said it out loud, I should try. All right, go to the gazebo. We're turning up your walking speed, Laura. And I guess, should I check the docks every now and then? Don't think anything of note happened at the docks. It doesn't want you going through the crates. The frogs are not going to become princes if Laura manages to kiss them. Now, on the one hand, having turned up the speed, certainly for prowling the grounds in particular. Okay, here is Clarence. Look at him. I probably should get the general description. He's sulking about something. Please, I'm not really in the mood for conversation. I suggest you talk to him yourself, young lady. Tell about it. Just leave the doc alone, will you? What about Ethel? That woman doesn't interest me in the least. Are you sure? Okay. He doesn't want to talk about it. What about the Colonel? I'm not going to discuss Colonel Dijon with a girl like you. What about Fifi? Listen, honey, I'm not the one to ask about her. Go find the old geezer. Wait, what about Gloria? Stay out of my private life, will you? Well, hold on. I saw it. Just stay out of my affairs. Okay. But it is important. Gets dumped, leaves billiard room, sulks at gazebo. Is he sulking and building up the will to commit at least one murder? He could be. Don't believe this will be anything still. So, Colonel, I hear that the population of Dumpsville has recently increased. I understand you are interested in a real estate deal in Dumpsville. Notice that turning walking speed up is actually turning the speed of everything up. I'm going to turn it back down a little. For the getting around the grounds outside, the sloggier parts. What you up to, Laura? Oh, nothing. Just trying. I'm at this point, Laura's still, Laura doesn't know that there's no hope for any of these people. Okay. Throw a save down here because see what happens when I go in the study. Then I want to go in, see if I can spy on Dr. Wilbur by himself, and then go into the room, presumably advance time. And I have remaining time. So we'll get some Act 3 work done. Has anybody taken the thing at this point? Boomerang, cutlass, the dagger, the mace, and the antique crossbow. Ah, right. Load the save, just to save us a little bit of walking. So we can try spying on the old man. It's always interesting to me which actions in Sierra games will just trigger an animation where the character gets into position and which ones are really, really finicky. Like, why can't Laura just walk to the cellar door for me? Time does advance if I just look in on him, too. And oh, I can't wait to get my hands on that monocle. Oh, I can click through that. The doctor is alone reading a magazine. Okay. Well, but let's see. Is it any different in any way that could possibly be significant? It's not. So let's go with the way where we were sneaky and detective-like. And let's get to work. Okay, hold on. Got to set up the Act 3 sheet. Extra details. Wrapping the text. I guess I should have immediately seen, is Gloria up to something new? No, but time will advance if I look in on her. Gloria, listening to music. And wouldn't you know, I can see from my notes that previously I didn't see the breakup scene until sometime in Act 3. but we're advancing things at a greater pace, being more thorough. Does the doctor remain here? No. I'm not ready for this murder to have happened. I want to look around. Actually, it didn't advance time, so what do I care? Something looks wrong here. A chair has been knocked over. There are signs of a struggle on the floor. Look at the floor. See nothing special. Okay. Fireplace poker. Right, it's not the cane yet. But I can take the poker. I can. There. As you retrieve the fireplace poker, your eyes happen to fall upon some small pink feathers scattered upon the floor. Now that points to Ethel. Or Gloria. You wonder how the small pink feathers got on the floor. They look like they may have come from a pillow or a feather boa. Struggle in library. Got poker. Pink feathers at scene. And I guess Gloria does also have a motive. But then does Clarence have a motive to... Yes, Clarence has a motive to kill the good doctor and frame Gloria. Has anything happened in this cabinet yet? No. Whew, it's warm. Must be pretty hot outside today to make it this warm in this room. Because we're past the part of the day where the sun even shines in here. The windows are east facing. In the dining room, nothing. I believe at this point, I mean, my notes say that at this point, I found Lillian in the playhouse. And indeed, okay, that's good. My notes also suggest that Polly will be alone. Let's confirm that. She is. Let's give her a cracker. You got to specify who you're giving it to. You give a cracker to the parrot. She's after me. So afraid. So does Ethel think someone's after her? What exactly does it mean? We won't go in where Gloria is yet. See who's up to what upstairs. Fifi still in her room? Probably. But let's find out. Because I think she eventually goes to the study and starts cleaning. Yeah, here's Fifi. What's she doing now? What's your book? What you reading? I would not know about that. Au contraire. I believe you would. Yeah, you fear Rudy. You fear Clarence? I think he would get rid of me if he could. He scares me. What do you think about everybody? What about Lillian? I sort of feel sorry for the girl, but she gives me the creepies. And that's fair. We don't know why yet. Oh la, Wilbert is such fun. That's interesting. I guess Fifi has a general appreciation for older men who can be easily seduced. I am very nervous about her. She gives me the bad looks. I know I've asked you about the Colonel. I know that Henry seems like the old grouch, but he is really a very warm and generous man. Take my word for it. Right. What do you think about Miss Ethel? I opened my mouth too much already, but Henry is not happy with his sister. He is ashamed of her. What do you think of Celie? Celia is too meddlesome for her own good. That doesn't really seem like a good read on. Oh, mademoiselle, Jeeves is nothing but a big pussycat. You like Polly the parrot? That parrot has a big mouth. What do you think about Blaze the horse? I pay no attention to the stable, mademoiselle. Do you know the secret of the crypt? No. What about Beauregard? Oh, that dog just gets the hairs all over the place. I wonder if I can use that. Any new thoughts about Rudy? I do not have anything else to say about that. Wait. I don't know to what extent I can ever ask about things. What difference does he make? Is there anything I would like to show her? It is of no interest to me. What about this fireplace poker? No. You want some oil, Fifi? Probably not. Okay. Fifi is reading in her room. I am not going to torture myself by repeatedly trying to open that door. Okay. Rudy still in here? Yes, and talking to Rudy in their room. While Rudy is talking to Clarence in their room. We'll spy on them eventually. But for now, let's confirm once again. Really, one notable thing is that somebody did shut the window. But it's not that notable compared to the general notability of someone cleaning things up. Colonel's back in his room. So who could the Colonel have been up there with anybody? He only went up at 8:45. And at 8:45, everybody else, it seems, was occupied. It seems. These rooms should be empty. Yep. In fact, they're so empty. Let's just hoof it back. Okay. Who have I not? Well, okay. Obviously, Gertrude is dead at this point. Dr. Wilbur, probably dead. My notes say Celia was at home at this time, and the Jeeves is still in his room. Let me confirm that. Polly said what she said. I've got Lillian in the playhouse in my notes. Ethel stumbling around drunk in the driveway. Maybe I can show her the fireplace poker. Oh, Gloria is still listening to music. I've got that. So, yes. All right. Let's go befriend Celie. Can I do that with it? Wait, hold on. In my notes, close scrutiny. I never inspected the necklace before. Should I have? Maybe I want to discover the murdered doctor first. Nothing going on up here, but torment myself. I believe these urns will just stay empty simply because the waste paper basket I know won't, and it has currently, this is empty. Open door. You're inside a leaky old playhouse. Time advances. I don't want it to. Not yet. Okay. Check on Jeeves to confirm he's still in his room. Walk a little faster, Laura. Get those lanterns burning a little bit faster. Open the door. What's Jeeves doing? He's trying to enjoy the privacy of his own room. Probably can't look in these drawers. No, it's nothing of interest. He was just getting a comb or something. Wait, I should have tried talking to him. He's not sleeping, at least. Can a person have a little privacy around here? I don't know. Can't leave my room. Please leave. Okay, so no, I can't even bait him with the things he should care about. What if he cares about the why is the fireplace poker out of place? I don't think he will. Nah, he doesn't give a shit. Do you know what? You know about this necklace? Obviously, he doesn't want it. Why is that obvious? What if he needs a gift for a paramour? Knock. Just a second. What you want, missy? Do you know this necklace? My necklace. I was wondering where it got to. Well, Miss Laura, why don't you come in and visit me a while? Boom. We're in with Seely. This is kind of funny. If and you want, we can sit a spell. You can sit a spell. We'll visit. One of the possible lists in Laura's notebook is people befriended. And at the end of the game, the only name I had on it was Seely. And it didn't say incomplete. Talk to Seely. I want to thank you for bringing me back my healing necklace. I've been feeling kind of poorly lately. Hold on, a healing necklace. My healing necklace is wonderful for curing all our ailments. I worried something awful when I lost it. I heard you know some kind of chant. No. That's what Lillian. Oh, Miss Lillian. Girl's had her troubles. I don't want to talk too much, but her daddy's suicide hit the poor little thing hard. Then to have a mama care more about her liquor than her own daughter. Oh, it was sad, all right. Hold on. Seely is at home. Lillian's dad committed suicide. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tricky one. That's about Fifi. Biff is a real canava, all right. She knows what she wants. She'll use any means to get it. And I mean any means. What do you think of Polly? Sometimes that there Paris says some interesting things. You like Beauregard? I know I can just say Beau. He's a good old dog. Colonel Henry thinks a lot of that old horse. He told me once that Blaze saved his life in the Spanish-American War. I don't trust that doctor around Colonel Henry. Don't know much about him, but he don't seem right in the head to me. What do you think about Clarence? I think he took lots of Colonel Henry's money over the years. I don't know why I think that, I just do. Well, you're right, so. I see nothing but trouble with him. He fritters away his life in those drinking establishments, takes up with all kind of women, spends all his money at the gambling tables, while I hear tell he's up to his ears in gambling debts. Hold on. Did I not? No, I knew people with gambling habits, Rudy and Clarence. But it's incomplete. Mr. Gloria ain't much different from her mama. Just younger is all. What did you think of the late Gertrude? She don't care nothing about Colonel Henry. All she cares about is his money. It's just the same as with her poor dead husband. Ask about who's left. Tell me about yourself. You don't need to know nothing about me. Tell him about Clarence and Wilbur. I often see them two with their heads together. Tell about Gloria and Clarence. You want to gossip some? I wouldn't get in the way of those two if I was you. I guess I don't know Lillian's playing with the dolls yet. She doesn't want to hear about people being murdered. None of them do. Ain't nothing nobody can do about her and her problems. Can I have that carrot? Wouldn't know about that. Ask for food. If you want it, just get it. Show poker. Don't interest me. And I doubt she cares about any of the rest. Oh. Don't look familiar to me. Can't remember exactly. Is it just get carrot and it'll do the asking? Before taking the carrot, you look at Celie for permission. She nods her approval. With that, take the juicy looking carrot for yourself. Okay. Yes, Jeeves is in his room. Lillian is in the playhouse. Haven't found Ethel. Perhaps I will. Check the different little spots. You never know. We're walking fast. And I'm going to go make friends with Blaze. Get the lantern. Is there going to be a faster way to get matches than just waiting for Clarence to be murdered? I don't know. Ethel in the driveway? Maybe, since the driveway has multiple screens. Or maybe right now, she's too busy with something else. What if she's drunk and in the carriage house for some reason? Nope. Oh no! What's happened to Wilbur? Somebody must have hit him over the head and killed him. Nervously, you look behind you, but there's no one there. Jeez. Different location this time. Time doesn't advance for the murder. I guess it's, yeah. Cedric, you were mentioning a challenge run of this game is to try to have Laura like not know what's going on. It's search to get the... With trembling hands, you search Wilbur's body and confirm your suspicions that he died by a tremendous blow to the head. Interesting. It's probably there's just a few set possible locations in whichever one you go to first. Thinking it might come in handy. Yeah, like this could really be. This version seems like it could be. Examine the oil can with monocle. Not that I think it's going to be helpful. No. What do I have that might be? I mean, geez. Just look at everything. Not everything, but you know. Ethyl prune. Confirmed. Can I find traces of blood? Yes. You examine the entire fireplace poker with the monocle. Oh, there are traces of blood on it. Probably not. You know, technically, you hold the candle in front of Blaze's nose, who begins to cautiously sniff at it, and then gently takes it into his mouth and eats it. He looks at you and whinnies softly, as if in friendship. Yeah, Laura actually makes friends with at least two animals. I don't know if Polly likes her or just uses her for crackers. But I think she won over Beauregard. It's not that hard to win over a dog. Take lantern. Close the gate. Pet Blaze again. You gently stroke Blaze's soft nose. It seems to like that. All right, good. Because I think it would actually be stressful for a horse to be stuck in a room with a dead body. Murdered by blunt force. I'm going to just go right out and say it. From the fireplace poker. So Ethel should be stumbling drunk. Why would Ethel want to kill Wilbur? I mean, the struggle, the scene of the struggle definitely suggests that, and the preponderance of evidence, to me, points at either Gloria or Clarence. And if it's Clarence, he's trying to frame Gloria. And I think that makes me more suspicious of Clarence. Sarah? All right. I think it's time to advance time. Actually, hold on. I'm going to check back in with Celie just once more. I wonder if discovering the religious icon is actually just all about not giving the necklace back until you've had a chance to look at it with the monocle. Nice to see you again, Mrs. Laura. I think it'd be kind of annoying came back so quickly, but small dresser rests in the corner. Tattered curtains cover the windows. Nothing interests you on either one of the tables. Okay. Making some gumbo. Makes sense. Okay. Do I get anything new about Seely? Just that she's stirring the gumbo. Okay. I have checked in with Polly. Now, wouldn't Ethel be the one saying things? I don't know. Willing to talk yet, Gloria? Probably not. Really, darling, you're interrupting my music. Well, hold on. Good. Rudy's a pillar of strength for me. I wouldn't know what to do without him. Rudy does overreact at times, but it'll be okay, I hope. What about Clarence and... No, wait, Rudy and Fifi. What do you think about your brother beating up the maid? You must be mistaken, darling. Oops. Show the monocle. I could care less. Recognize this? Well, it's not mine. Look at her boa. That's a beautiful feather boa Gloria's wearing. Ask about it. Don't know anything about it. Ask about the feathers. Tell about the feathers. Show the poker. So, if she used it to bash in the good doctor's head, she's got nerves of steel. How are things with you and Clarence? I don't care to discuss him. What if I tell you I already know all the secrets? She doesn't. No, she's not engaging. Ask about Wilbur. He's just a silly old man. Don't worry about him, darling. Can I ask about your health secret? No. Did you know that Wilbur's dead? Even if it were true, darling, what would I care? Ice cold. Okay. Well, 9:15 revisited. Still got some time. Maybe I can make it through Act 3. Complete my crawl through of Act 3. I assume Polly is not updated. Give a cracker to the parrot. Nothing new. Yeah, I don't need you to confirm to me that you like crackers, parrot. My friend, one of my friends, her and her partner have a bird for a pet. His name is Amadeus. Now, Jeeves will eventually clean this up. And she was over last night with some other of our friends, and she showed us a video. Amadeus's favorite song is "September" by Earth, Wind, and Fire. And she said, like she showed us the video, and he's just like, and just like dancing and popping his head and just singing the song. And she said he'll do it for like hours. She said it's very cute up to a point, and then you're like, oh my God, come on. They have other songs. I should just, one thing I just realized. Once people are dead, I can pre-fill the entire table with them, so I don't think I have more to do than I actually do. Is Fifi still upstairs in her room? Yes. Not that I suspected Fifi of having murdered Wilbur. I think most likely it was Clarence. And he's trying to frame. Wait, but hold on. Oh, Danielle's calling, which probably means it's go get the groceries time. Hang tight. One sec. Brief intermission. It's grocery time, gang. Slightly longer intermission. I'll be right back with you. Okay. We're back. Now, it's 9:15. Who's where doing what? Hold on. I can fill in Polly. Put text wrapping on. And then, okay. Is Jeeves still in his room? Celia's still at home. Rudy and Clarence are talking in their room. Of course, we're not going to interrupt them when the time comes. But we're going to spy on them. But okay. Check about the Colonel. Is he in his room? Yep. Interested in the fireplace poker? I could care less. Oh, you miserable old man. You don't care about anything but your money and your lechery. Presumably our room remains empty. Later on, Lillian will leave her suitcase unlocked. Which leads to kind of a goofy moment where Rudy is searching for something. But he doesn't bother to... He's like looking under the bed and stuff, but he doesn't look in her suitcase, which is sitting there unlocked. Wait, so what other reason did I come up here for? Oh, to confirm that the Colonel is in his room. Check on Jeeves. And then I think it's just time to advance time again. So picking up the walking pace and also recognizing, fortunately, most of the time, because the scripting is not literally down to the quarter hour, obviously, since you can trigger different things, different times. But it's just like, what are they all supposed to do throughout the act? And the ones that aren't supposed to do anything will quite kindly remain in place. And you can kind of just say, okay. I wonder. I think I probably tried it before. I should go back and see if I can take the feathers. Jeeves is in his room. Lillian is presumably still in her playhouse. Well, she's definitely gonna just be in the playhouse. But let's also do the thing I just said. See if I can take feathers. Get feathers. You see no sense in carrying around a bunch of feathers. Examine feathers with monocle? You wonder how the small pink feathers got on the floor. They look like they may have... Okay, no. Examine the chair. Chair's been knocked askew. Is there some finer detail? No. And no one's in the study, I don't think. Sometimes you just gotta eat. Of course, Gloria is just listening to her music. Polly's just hanging out. And now... Okay. Can I find Ethel now? Stumbling around in the driveway. Or somewhere on the grounds. Prowl the grounds a little, see if I turn up Ethel. Every now and then I must remember to torture myself with this friggin' well. It's nothing. Ooh. Yeah, that sounds like a real good sandwich. Sounds like a tasty sandwich. Like my kind of sandwich. Fortunately, I'm not consumed with jealousy. Oh, I assumed. I took it for granted that would be a tasty grilled sandwich. Confirm Jeeves' location. I have not found drunken Ethel. So perhaps her whereabouts are unaccounted for. Why would Ethel murder Clarence? Obviously, I don't know if the vegetarian thing is usually the best thing on the menu, the places I go. Because the only thing I like, I'm not going to eat the meat dishes. But there are certainly places where it's like, just like, yeah, okay. You have a very perfunctory vegetarian option available for me. Although the worst vegetarian option I've ever experienced was not, yeah, Wilbur's all cleaned up now, was not at a restaurant, but at a wedding. I went to a wedding in Cape Breton long ago, in a small town in Cape Breton. As the plus one of my ex at the time, from the time, who is easily one of the least pleasant people I've ever met. Long story there. Yeah, like in the places where it's just drab. Like, but when something's thought's been put into it, there's a very good chance that's going to be a very tasty option. All right, let's spy and advance time. Turn the speed up enough, and Laura looks like she's like about to invent twerking. Oh yeah, so at this wedding, you know, they had put out the thing of, you know, please let us know what your preferences and what your dietary restrictions are. So I told them I was a vegetarian. And when they came around to serve it, it was like the meal was just like plain chicken, like grilled chicken breast, or maybe even boiled chicken breast with like boiled carrots and boiled beans and mashed potatoes. Uh, and the vegetarian option was the same thing. And then they said, you'll just have to eat around the chicken. It was not great. Yeah, like it's not like I didn't eat it. Who is this so-called director the glorious seeing now? Why, I ought to punch his lights out for getting between me and my gal. Gloria was never your gal. Just because she went out with you a couple of times, you thought you owned her. Well, I got news for you, buddy. My sister doesn't need to settle for the likes of you. As a matter of fact, you were nothing but a mere dalliance for her. Dalliance? Ha! Why, you're the one who can't make a commitment to anyone. You're just trying to sink Gloria down to your lousy level. You ain't good enough to kiss the ground she walks on. You're nothing but a low-class jerk. Quit butting in between me and Gloria. This is none of your business. I'll handle it the way I want, and I won't be asking your permission. I'm warning you, Jack. If I see you near my sister again, I'll cut you up in little pieces and feed them to the dog. Got it? They didn't animate it, but you know he did the shoulder check as he walked by. And this is Michael Bay pre-Armageddon. She really, truly just fell in love with, oh man, did I not even have a... No, we did just move to 930. She just fell for the hair. The like standard headshot of Michael Bay that they at least used to use, maybe it's been updated over the past couple of decades. Oh God, I'm growing old. The classic Michael Bay. Yeah, this is Michael Bay. She's I'm leaving you for a best boy, but he's gonna be a director someday. Okay. What a perfect way for Michael Bay to have gotten started. But yeah, oh yeah, the standard headshot that IMDb used to use for Michael Bay, that I've seen often in other contexts to represent him, it's just like, yep, he really looks like Michael Bay for sure. You cannot have any doubt. If you're on the set, he doesn't need to be in the director's chair or holding a horn. You don't need to pay attention to how people treat him. Just look for the guy who looks exactly like Michael Bay. Whoops. Naps after arguing with Rudy. Whoops. Don't worry. The F5 key seems to just have refreshed my spreadsheet, not explicitly ruined it in any way. Look at Clarence. Clarence seems to be resting in his bed. Did he leave his suitcases unlocked? I can't remember. Was that one of the got into suitcases of? No. Probably most of these just remain locked the whole time. Can we search the unconscious man and steal his matches? Clarence must be tired. Perhaps you ought to tiptoe out, leave him alone. Point taken. This room is still just empty. The Colonel is still in his room. Yep. Colonel's in his room. Perhaps Ethel will now be stumbling drunkenly through the driveway. I don't think there's anything for anyone to have thrown out, but... Wait, have I tried? Excuse us. Well, did you think this was Leisure Suit Larry? Although also... Oh, hell yes, Laura. Washing up and everything. Also, extremely perverse. Chuck Berry's Leisure Suit Larry. The one where you just keep watching girls use the bathroom. Okay. Fifi's still up in her room. No. She is still in a room. It's another confrontation with Fifi. So Rudy's just all fired up in general. We don't have an easy way to spy on that conversation. I remember reading once someone said, Michael Bay obviously has his shortcomings as a director, a lot of them related to character and story and coherent action scenes, even for that matter. But they said, if you really want to get a sense of his talent, just put a Michael Bay movie on, and just every now and then just hit pause. And indeed, my goodness, does the man have an eye for composition. I assume we get nothing new from Polly, but Polly likes cracker. So if Polly sings a song, it's the, you don't know how you met me, you don't know why. Nothing to talk to Gloria about. Jeeves still hasn't cleaned up in here. Lazy butler. Ceely's still in her home. I know that, and I don't need to check. I don't feel the need to check. Yeah, I don't get a sense of him as a bad dude. Maybe I'm like, maybe there were some allegations or something that I missed. But I really need to see the only Michael Bay movie that I feel the need to see, and I've actually never seen it, is Pain and Gain. I'm intrigued by the idea of Michael Bay's his his art film, so to speak. Although at the time it was out, I kind of ruined it for myself by reading the true story it was based on, then being like, I'm not sure that I want to read a comedy about this. About this guy being kidnapped and tortured by these idiot meatheads who don't even quite know what their plan is. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson is one of the, it's just frustrating when you just think of like the potential versus the realization. Oh, was I? Hold on a second. No, okay, that was just funny overlap because The Rock is one of the main characters in Pain and Gain. Can we find Ethel yet? On the grounds. Maybe that only happens after you learn Lillian's secret. We know Lillian's still in the playhouse until such time as I find her. So it looks like the remaining time triggers, clear enough. Wait, I meant to go in through the other door in. But yeah, Dwayne Johnson as an actor, it's frustrating. Obviously, like, mounds of charisma. But just, among other things, and I know it's I'm not sure if it's a thing that is known to be true or just a rumor that he has a clause in his contract that he can never lose a fight. But it's like you've got a really bad sense of you know, storytelling and what would get folks invested, which is weird because Dwayne Johnson as a professional wrestler is not noted for being ungenerous with his opponents. In the heyday of his career, he lost a lot. He, you know, sells big, all that kind of stuff. In theory, Dwayne Johnson playing Black Adam should be great casting. But if you also give him control of the project and he just wants it to be his superhero role, so we're not even going to have. Yeah, maybe that's what I know. I've heard it about Dwayne Johnson. It could be both of them. It could be neither of them, and that's a rumor that just generally goes around. But yeah. And like making Black Adam the star, not even introducing him in a Captain Marvel story. I know they don't call him Captain Marvel anymore, but he's Captain Marvel to me. All right. Actually, let's save witnessing the altercation. Let's go learn about Lillian's weirdness. Maybe I can tell Celia about it and get even more information. Just updating some things. Jeeves was still in his room. So she stuck the key in the lock and. Oh, she's reading a story. I was like, wait, is she about to reveal something? Look at Lillian. This is a bit odd. Your friend seems to be reading a book to those old dolls. Look at the book. You glance at the book in Lillian's hand and see it is an old fairy tale entitled Bluebeard. And indeed, we expect to find a bunch of bodies in a secret basement. At some point, also, a bunch of tick marks get made in here. Look at the dolls. No. Nope. Can I just say listen? No. Talk to Lillian. Huh? What are you doing here, Laura? Wait, can we talk at this point? No. She is surprised to see me here. She does not care about anything I have to say. She doesn't notice it. Anybody up here in the secret garden? That's not the secret garden. Neither of the gardens are secret. But that's not even the secretive garden. How am I for time? Doing okay. I think I'll finish Act 3. Jeeves is still in his room. Assume that we'll find Gloria still listening to music, because I'm pretty sure she just listens to music until she gets killed. Don't you worry about Miss Lillian. You just be a friend to her. What's up with the dolls? How'd I know about that? Well, you know. But okay, whatever. Assume nothing's going on in here. But yeah, maybe turning the fountain on is just related to getting in good with the ghost. If indeed it is the ghost of young Sarah. Seely's still at home. Boom, boom. Assume we'll confirm Gloria is just still in the one place. Oh, right. I should see if now I can run into Ethel. Lillian's always been a bit kooky. Personally, I think she's kind of creepy. Yeah, what's up with the dolls? I don't know anything about it. Except that you find it creepy. Yeah, I don't suspect. Yeah, Clarence's still sleeping. Can I see the matches on him? You don't have it. Get matches. You don't see it here. Hold on. I know it's not going to let me. I can't just go through a. Laura will go through any dead person's pocket to see if they have a potentially useful item. She has some respect for the living. The elevator seems to be downstairs. Okay, I don't think this works. I think I actually tried this before. But hold on. You're not close enough. Open gate. Climb cable? No. Look in shaft. Can I just fall in? No. Wait, can I? You don't see an elevator, just an elevator shaft. Look up. Look up shaft. The elevator seems to be downstairs. Climb up. Climb what? Climb up the shaft. No. But okay. The colonel goes downstairs to the library. Told Danielle I'd wrap up around 2:30, which gives me 13 minutes. So time is getting tight. But hopefully I can round out the act here. Does it advance time to discover the colonel? Is there any way to get the colonel to care about the murders? No. There just can't possibly be. That's just not how we do things around the Dijon manor. The elevator seems to be upstairs. Well, make up your mind. Is he somehow in the middle? Downstairs to library. Or is he? Oh. Jeesh. Okay, so a quick trip down to the library. Hold on then. Could I have... Was the colonel back? No. And now he's upstairs. Hold on. Is my save sufficient? Yes. Wait. This seems unlikely, but hold on. Get in the shaft. Climb into shaft. Elevator cable. No. You can die. You really got the shaft this time. Is it a rope? No. Okay. And if I come back, he's gone all the way up. And the gate remains open. That's interesting. Okay, hold on. Last thing I want to check about the Colonel's current activities for now. Can I find him in the library? No, but the elevator is here. Use elevator. Look around. Look in elevator. You see the elevator control. Use elevator control. Take elevator up. Use control up. What a thing to discover when I have 10 minutes. No, Laura, get back in. Can I just say use up? No. Oil the handle. Just waste your oil. Examine control with monocle. There's a handle on the elevator control. On the face of the controller, a keyhole and the words up and down. So there's that. And I bet we have the same problem trying to go further down. If indeed this goes to the basement. Yeah. Need the key for that. Did I move the... No, the elevator was originally in the Colonel's here. Curiouser and curiouser. Will leaving it down matter? I don't know. Have I been diligent enough about looking for spy evidence? Maybe, maybe not. Laura? Bros. Move the cabinet. Take a look. Ah, yes. Take the cane. Examine cane with monocle. No. Okay. So you find the cane in here. At 9:45, cane is found in passage. Now the Colonel can walk, but does he have to walk with the cane? Is it the Colonel's cane? Can somebody confirm this for me? 7 minutes. don't want to look at it. All right, maybe Seely will be more helpful. Or maybe she'll say, I mind my own business, missus. And I suggest you do the same. Is there a number of cumulative times you can come bother Seely that ruins the friendship? Well, that looks like Colonel Henry's cane. Mm-hmm. And so why would Colonel Henry... Do you care about this, Jeeves? No, Jeeves doesn't give a shit about anything. Can seeing the cane snap Lillian out of it? Probably not. But we're just wrapping up Act 3 here. So I can spare the moment. Now, and then it said, no, she doesn't give a shit. She's lost to the world at this point. A problem, of course, is that maybe I'm able to find the key at this point and I just haven't. Maybe this is my entire window. Or maybe it's not. Maybe this is just the point where, you can find out that there is a key. Tough to say. Okay. Let's go witness the conversation and then I'll wrap up. Now he's violently shaking her. Stop you, leave me alone. Get out of my room now. You'll regret that, you little vixen. Fifi runs to her bed. Fifi looks tired. She's resting in her bed. Ooh, an update. So? She doesn't care about finding the Colonel's cane. So I bet she doesn't care about the poker either. The asparagus is $7, but you get 6 stocks. That is better. It's still not a great rate. Look in the cane. Turn cane. No. Can I twist open the cane to find a key within it? Yes. I agree with you there. Okay, well, it's Act 4. And we'll continue on. We've got just a tiny little bit of time. So hold on. I'm curious about this. Leave my cane alone. Did he take it? No. Give him the cane. Put it back where you found it. Ask about the cane. Don't be messing with my cane. Ask about passages. Wouldn't know about it. Ask about anything. You spied on my maid? Oh, no. I wouldn't do anything like that. You don't need to concern yourself with my butler. What does Lillian have to do with this? Nothing, sir. Why do you care about my health? I just hope you're feeling good, sir. That young rascal is none of your concern. My nephew is more trouble than his worth. I'm not interested in what other people do. Go bother the cook, why don't you? Wait. What about the elevator? How would I know? Well, it's your private elevator, Colonel. It's just for you. Okay. Currently, it's empty. All right. Well, I think Act 4 is where we'll start next time. So I think I'm done for the day. Cool. You know, early going, but I feel pretty strongly that that Wilbur was most likely killed by Clarence in an effort to frame Gloria and maximize his revenge. Gertrude. Well, here's the thing. I didn't take these quarter-hour notes for the first act. However, Jeeves was on the move. Celia was in the kitchen the whole time. Rudy and Gloria are in the billiards room together the whole time. No, they're not. But Rudy goes back to his room after talking to Gloria. Clarence obviously has, well, he talks to Gertrude and reveals his scheme. Ethel and Lillian are together the whole time. It's less obvious to me. I feel pretty confident about whittling the Wilbur murder suspects down to Clarence and Gloria, and with a stronger suspicion on Clarence. I think next time is when the replay really starts heating up. So let's all start getting hyped for that. Where are we going from here? On Wednesday, Greg and James beat him up. We're so close to being done phase 2. Pretty soon, we're going to take a hiatus from playing beat 'em ups. And I think what we're going to do is Greg and James and Ghosts and Goblins. Play all the Ghosts and Goblins games and see if I can coach Greg into getting good. I don't know, but I'll try. On Friday Night Frosthaven, the easiest kind of Friday Night Frosthaven for me. It's an outpost phase, and I'm being myself. So that'll be fun. Then, next Saturday, what I'm thinking right now, but if I get locked out of my job, I might just do this during a weekday this week. But otherwise, next Saturday, let's play Celeste 64. And then a week after that, let's start Suikoden 2 and see what all the hype has been about these many years that I've been looking forward to the game. I so dearly love the Ghosts and Goblins games. I'm already very good at them, but I don't know if I can impart that to Greg. But I love Ghosts and Goblins and just the whole series, especially Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I think is still my favorite, but oh, I love them all. I'm a big fan. Yeah. Then before you know it, it'll be next Sunday, and we're gonna really get into the weeds, and hopefully crack something open. Maybe next time the Colonel's out of his wheelchair, I can search it for the key. I don't know. Where's the key to the elevator? How do we get into the upper room? Is it all just the skeleton key that I eventually got off Lillian that was in the Colonel's smoking jacket? I think. Why was Lillian wearing the smoking jacket at the end? What's going on? Well, maybe we'll find out more next time. I hope. The Colonel's Bequest. Neat little game. I don't know if little is even fair to apply to it, although it is contained. Cool. All right. You stuck around to the end. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, you can't hear my voice. I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time, when the stroke of midnight draws ever closer, take care of yourselves and be kind to everyone you meet.